Sup? It's Hallie. Welcome back to Branching Paths. When we last left off, stuff was going down. I actually believe we're in the middle of the episode, so we gotta go to like the final one. See how this comes to a climax. My goodness. Because like we're almost there. But I did see the developer looking for testers for the next 5 chapters on the subreddit, and I was like, hey, I'll record it, and he never said anything. Probably because I didn't follow the instructions in the post. But who knows, maybe we'll see the next bit sooner than later. Anyway, I wearily stare at my breakfast plate as Mom sits across from me, sipping her mug of coffee as she waits for something to be done in the toaster oven. I'm not usually up this early, but considering I didn't get much sleep last night agonizing on over my impending decision, I decided to join my mom for breakfast this morning. We also didn't exactly get the chance to talk about things face to face when I got home. As it turns out, neither of us were really in the mood, or the talking mood at that point. But that's not going to stop her from being the cheery morning person she usually is.
So, Michael, about your school situation.
I know, I should report them. And, well, I'm probably going to.
Probably.
She eyes me suspiciously as she takes another sip from her mug. I mean, yeah. I lean back in my chair, staring up at the little chandelier above the table. If he's been reported multiple times in the past, and he's apparently suffered no consequences, I don't see the point in adding on to that.
It doesn't matter, Michael. You can't let them walk all over you like this.
I know, but that's not the only thing about all this. I don't think it's worth hanging around someone who attracts all this kind of attention. Not to mention, Shiro lied to me.
About what exactly?
I cringe at what I'm about to say. So, Shiro wrote this fanfiction, poem, whatever the hell it was, about some girl at our school last year. It was really creepy, and Shiro at first told me he had nothing to do with it. But after my run-in with Kai yesterday, I confronted him about it again, and he admitted to writing it. Though now his story is, I wrote something, but I didn't write the thing that was spread around the school. I sigh. Apparently, he never told Kayla or Ruby the truth either. Well, what do you
believe?
Well, I talked to both of them one-on-one. I talked to a few of my classmates. It seems to me like he did do it. I think he did write it. He's just too scared to admit it. I'm just glad I didn't get to see what he actually wrote.
Yeah, I'm sure it's for the best.
But I do think I have an idea of what it was probably like.
How bad do you think it was?
Well, I really can't believe I'm about to tell my mom that Shiro was eyeing her. Actually, I can't remember if you need the second E in eyeing. I'm pretty sure you don't. Remember when I brought Shiro over yesterday?
Yes, but I don't remember him being anything awkward. He seemed like a nice boy to me.
Well, he told me, dude, your mom is so hot. I don't know, it's just a weird thing to say, especially when it's your first time over. Mom stares back at me in silence, a look of complete disbelief on her across her face. I sigh again. This is exactly why I wish I didn't. Suddenly she bursts out giggling. What's so funny?
Oh, Michael. You know how many compliments I've gotten over the years from men younger than me?
Well,
It's not something I'm bothered by. Honestly, I'm glad someone realizes I still look that good. I mean, I definitely think or don't look the same as I did 20 years ago, but marriage, a kid, divorce, it gets to you. But it's good to know I still have it.
Now it's my turn to stare in disbelief. Mom seems to pick up on my shock and clears her throat.
Sorry for trailing off. What I'm saying is, unless he made a creepy comment about something, then I could completely see where you're coming from. But it sounds innocent enough from what you're telling me. I wouldn't read too much into that.
I guess you're right about that. But I'm still pissed at him for lying to me.
Well, that's something you're going to need to work out with him.
Finally, the toaster oven rings. Dings.
Waffles are ready.
Mom gets up and heads over to the toaster oven, putting on some mittens before carefully opening and removing the food and putting it on the counter. How big is this toaster? She then pours some maple syrup and adds some other goodies to it before handing me my plate. She then sits back across from me with her plate now in front of her.
I will say you're right about one thing. You do need to be careful with who you associate yourself with in the reputation. Whether you like it or not, it does rub off onto you, and you do sometimes have to deal with the burden that comes with it. But I think Shiro has earned an unfair reputation from this Kai person. I think you should report those bullies regardless of what you decide to do in regards to Shiro.
Well, that's what I'm struggling with. I don't know what exactly it is I want to do, and if I still want to be friends with him. I didn't ask to deal with any of this. I just wanted to stay low and get my footing with everything. Haven't I been through enough already? Mom sighs.
It's been a trying time for the both of us, Michael. But whatever it is you're about to decide is going to affect your relationship with those around you. Personally, if I was you, I'd just try sticking it out with Shiro a little bit longer. Obviously, don't adhere to Kai's stupid timeline. That's not up to him. If you end up deciding you don't like Shiro, or you feel like, or if you feel him lying to you about this is incorrigible, then that's your choice. I can't pick your friends for you.
So, just try to stick it out with him, report Kai, and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, how are they going to know you reported them? If those boys have earned that kind of reputation, then I'm sure they've lost track of who they picked on. Now eat your waffles.
I sigh as I finally turn my attention to my breakfast. This is going to be a long day. I ended up walking to school today rather than taking the train. Partly to avoid Shiro, but mostly I just wanted some time to think to myself. I ended up getting to school a lot earlier than I thought, so I decided to hang out at the school's rooftop area. It would be 2 words in this context. Also, how the heck did he get to school faster walking than on the train? I heard this area can be quite relaxing. Seeing the sunrise on the horizons as the sky transitions from orange to blue is a bit cathartic given the situation, though it also just reminds me that the day is starting soon. As I gaze off into the horizon, my mind continues to wrestle with my ultimate decision. And if I really want to go through with reporting Kai and his buddies, this situation almost makes me want to try to reach out to Dad. Not sure if he'd really want to talk to me right now. He certainly doesn't want to talk to Mom, that's for sure. And I'm sure that Mom wouldn't be too happy if she found out I tried talking to him, especially this soon. Damn it! I pound my fist on the railing. What I really need is some sort of a second opinion, preferably some sort of third party. I rack my brain trying to come up with the possibilities. I mean, that Monica girl in literature class seems approachable enough. Though then again, she really does seem like the goody two-shoes type and would no doubt report this. Adrian wouldn't care. Kayla and Ruby aren't exactly impartial, and I already know what they'd say. The only teacher I'd feel remotely comfortable even talking about this would be Mr. Hara, or talking to about this by Mr. Hara, but that sounds like a sure one-way ticket to ending up at the office where supposedly it's going to be buried anyways. This blows. I guess this is really something I'm going to have to solve on my own. I think to myself as I longingly stare into the horizon. What did I give to be back at my old home? What would I give? What I would give? I don't know. I didn't have to deal with anything like this. I continue to stare off into the distance, reminiscing about the times from my old school. Though my reminiscing comes to an abrupt end when I feel a slight tap on my shoulder. I spin around to see who touched me, bracing for the worst. However, my nerves are somewhat relieved to see it's someone who I don't recognize. A relatively short girl with bright blue eyes, a red bow in her coral pink hair. She's looking at me with a concerned expression, as if she thinks I'm going to throw myself over the railing.
You okay? Sorry if I'm bothering you, it's just I was walking around and you seemed a little upset. So I just wanted to see if you were doing alright.
Well, this is weird. A total stranger checking to see if I'm doing alright. Normally I'd be annoyed, but she does seem genuine enough. Well, at least hopefully she's not with Kai. To be fair, I don't think a woman would want to be near Kai. Yeah, I'm fine. What am I even saying? Not even my mom would have bought that. Naturally, the girl just simply eyes me suspiciously.
Are you sure? I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, I completely get it, and I'll leave you alone, but I just feel bad if I left someone alone who was feeling down.
What, you're some kind of philanthropist? The girl looks on at me like I had just spoken in some alien tongue. Though eventually she catches on to the meaning of the word.
Oh, well, I don't know. Everyone always says I'd be good at it. Sorry, it's the early morning. My brain doesn't typically function all that well until I've sat down for first period.
I guess we have that in common.
Well, that's something to be happy about, right? I'm Sayori, by the way. What's your name?
Wait a minute, I've heard that name before. I think Adrian said something about her to Monica. I guess she's in their friend group. As if those two weren't already polar opposites. Throw her into the mix, that friend group must be a complete circus show. Michael, nice to meet you, Sayori. I politely put my hand out for a handshake. Sayori, oddly enough, uses both her hands to shake. She then giggles to herself, apparently thinking of it as some kind of joke, but I do catch myself cracking a light smirk at it too.
Well, nice to officially meet you, Michael. So what are you up here for?
Just thinking about stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes I actually like to get here early and face the rooftop. It helps me clear my head.
Well, I heard this place can be pretty relaxing in the morning, so I figured I'd see it for myself. I would figure I'd see it for myself.
You didn't know about that already?
Sayori looks at me with a bit of surprise, but then she suddenly catches on.
Ooh, you're one of the new kids.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, welcome. How are you liking it here?
Well, how truthful do I want to be here? It's been interesting.
I imagine. It must be a little hard to adjust to a new school.
Yeah, it kind of has.
You haven't run into the mean kids yet, have you?
I'd rather be honest to her. Yeah, once or twice now.
Oh my, I'm so sorry. I hope they weren't too bad for you, or to you. Trust me, not everyone here is like them. Well, they're just jerks who have nothing better to do with themselves.
Well, at least she's not with Kai, so I can probably be a little free around her. Well, I guess that's one way of putting it.
Yeah, like just try to avoid them. Just go about your day and pretend you're not bothered by them, and eventually they just give up and move on.
Now that's something my mom has said about bullies. Never really had to try out her advice, though. That's an awfully optimistic take. You speaking from experience?
Well, I can't say I ever had to deal with them directly too much. Actually, I've managed to get along with them in person just fine, but that's about it. I don't really hang out around them.
2 words when it's a verb. I get you.
In fact, actually, a lot of people who are bullied by Kai actually turn to me for advice, actually.
Really? Why is that?
Well, people see I'm nice and understanding. I do my best to listen to their problems and offer whatever advice I can. I always think I can do a better job at it, but... well, I try my best.
She says with a warm smile.
So if it's something they did to you, then I'd be happy to try to help you through it. That is, if you'd want me to.
She says nervously, looking away. Well, she seems sweet and innocent enough. But then again, so did Shiro when I first met him. Sayori does at least seem pretty down-to-earth, and I was asking for a third-party person not too long ago. This is probably my best, if not only a chance to get the advice I want. Well, I'm not sure if this is something I really want to rope you into.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to get involved in drama. It's really not my thing. I'm just here to help and make everyone go about their day with smiles. That's not such a bad thing, is it?
Well, no, but if you really feel like you can help, then I'll just give it to you straight. But I want this staying between us, promise? Sayori flexes out her pinky to me.
Pinky promise.
Is she for real? Well, it's either this or nothing. I look down at her pinky before begrudgingly flexing mine out to interlock with hers. We retract our pinkies after about a second.
Alright, so what's going on?
I let out a sigh. So, I know this guy, Shiro. Honestly, I thought he seemed like a decent enough guy when I first met him.
Is he your friend?
Well, I don't know if I'd use that term to describe our relationship, but we were friendly to each other. We've only known each other since the first day. He convinced me to join the anime club. I had him over at my place to celebrate me joining. Again, I don't think he's really a bad person, it's just... he has all these problems, and I don't know if I can be around him because those problems are starting to affect me too.
Is it the whole fanfiction thing?
I simply nod my head.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. He wrote that about one of my good friends. It was just horrible what she went through.
I'm sorry to hear that. Although I have been hearing various theories that it wasn't him, that he was somehow framed for it. Did you buy any of that? Sayori pauses for a moment before sighing.
Well, everyone has their own theory. But I think he wrote it. I don't think he meant to hurt anyone, but... deep down I know it was him. I have some really mixed feelings about Shiro. He's not a bad guy and he gets picked on way too much, but... he can be a little strange.
I kinda know what you mean.
What I don't get was it was all last year. We can move on and be better people. I don't know why Kai feels the need to keep bringing it up.
Because he knows it hurts Shiro. Those two have some long-running feud.
They do. I went to middle school with them. We saw plenty of it. Really, it all started back in my science class in middle school. Kai and Shiro were the top students in the class, and Shiro was, well, kind of off-putting, to put it nicely, with how he behaved in class. It had the tendency to rub a lot of people the wrong way. And Kai, who was always a very competitive person by nature, took offense to how Shiro acted. So the two started going at it, and it eventually just escalated into them doing some mean things to each other. Boys being boys, as some of our teachers put it. One time, Shiro ate Kai's lunch on purpose, and Kai followed up the next day by making sure Shiro was locked out of the school for 30 minutes after a little trip we did. And that's not even the worst of what happened. It's a pretty long list of what they did to each other back then.
Jeez, I never knew all that happened.
Well, it's just typical middle school drama. It's kind of sad to see it carry over. And I'm sorry you have to deal with it.
It's not your fault.
So are you still wondering if you want to be friends with him?
Well, there's more to it than that.
Oh?
For some reason, Kai wants me to leave the anime club.
Why?
I sigh. I don't know. I think he just wants to use me to hurt Shiro. The club means a lot to him. He also knows that if I leave, the club is going to have to disband since it won't have enough members to exist. If I don't agree to Kai's request by 4:30 today, he's apparently going to ruin my life here. So I don't know if sticking with Shiro and the club is worth it.
I see.
Sayori looks off into the distance for a moment. After about a good half-minute, she finally looks back at me.
Well, I don't think you should leave the anime club. If you enjoy being there, nobody can ever take that away from you. But if you can't get along with Shiro, then there really might not be much of a point to staying. I know sometimes in my club, some of our members can get a little angry with each other over things. We're able to work out our differences and still be friends at the end of the day. We're all put together because of a common interest, and we've been able to grow closer because of it. Do you think you've gotten closer to Shiro and the other anime club members?
I mean, sure. Kayla and Ruby have been good to me, and I'd hate stabbing them in the back over this. Shiro has been nice to me, but I wish he was straight with me from the get-go about his situation.
I suppose he was. Do you think you'd still be as close to him as you are now?
Sayori's question rings inside my head. I then began asking myself the same question as well. If I'd known Shiro was as controversial as he is now, would I have associated myself in the first place? Associated myself with him in the first place? Why does this have to be so hard? I decided to just deflect to Sayori's question. I just don't know if I can handle all the attention on him, especially since I just got here. I worry that if I'm seen hanging with the wrong crowd, then whenever I do decide to put myself out there, people are going to reject me.
I get where you're coming from, Michael, I do. But people do take note how you treat those around you. And if they see you cut someone off, it's something they'll remember. I don't think he's a bad guy at heart. I'm sure you can reason with him.
That doesn't solve my problem with Kai if I'm putting a target on my back. I don't want to report him unless I know for certain it'll go somewhere. Shiro has told me that he and several other people over the years would always report him, but he never seems to suffer any consequences. And I worry that he'll find out that I tried and that he'll come at me even harder. He already has someone stalking me around the school. And even if I do leave the club, I don't exactly have much assurance that Kai doesn't keep coming after me. My mom was telling me that if I let these guys have something, they'll be back for more. I look behind Sayori as I say that just to make sure that we're alone, but I end up not seeing anyone. This is just getting to me and I need an out, fast. Do you think there's someone who could help me? At least to get Kai off my back? I can figure out Shiro later, but I can't do it with Kai on my ass.
Well,
Sayori looks off again, clearly mulling over a solution. Suddenly, she gives me a look like a light bulb inside her head went off.
oh, I know somebody.
Who?
The student council president.
Sayori gives herself a congratulatory look for coming up with a solution while I look on at her in confusion. Didn't Kai help that guy get elected? Or, help get that guy elected, that's what it says. Wouldn't he technically be one of Kai's guys? Why the hell would he help me? And I feel that's actually worse than going straight to the principal's office. Still, I do want to be nice to Sayori here. Why do you think he would be able to help me?
Oh, he is super helpful and super nice. He's helped me lots of times in the past. He gives great personal and professional advice. If anyone can help you get Kai off your back, I think he's your best bet.
Well, it's not like I have any other options here. Okay, I'll pay him a visit later then.
Awesome! You know where his office is?
Yeah, I know where it is.
Perfect. He's usually there around lunchtime, so just stop by then. I'm sure he'll be willing to help you out.
She says with a hopeful smile. I can't believe how much faith I'm putting into this girl's advice. But I guess it wouldn't hurt to talk to him. Thanks, Sayori. I'll see you around.
Oh, for sure. If you ever need to talk, you can find me after school in room 217. That's where my club meets.
Noted. What club are you in?
Oh, the literature club.
Huh, a club about reading books? Sounds kind of dull. Well, if I need to talk, I'll head there.
It was nice to meet you, Michael.
Without warning, Sayori suddenly gives me a giant bear hug. She tightly squeezes me for a few seconds before releasing me. What the hell? Before I can ask why she did that, Sayori already answers my question.
For luck and to help you relieve stress.
Funny enough, I do feel a little bit better. Well, I guess that worked. Thanks,
Bye, Michael.
she says as she happily skips away. I take the next few moments to reflect on what happened. Sayori is certainly interesting, but I think her advice was helpful. I guess I'm going to pay the president a visit after all. I spend the rest of my time up on the roof watching the sunrise until I hear the morning bell ring. I close my eyes and take a deep breath as I await what the day will bring me.